So if you're interested in setting up the defaults so that the text is larger and you think that might be helpful, this is how you can do it in Word. You go to the Home tab here, and then over here in the bottom right corner is a little drop down, and you can see that right now, let's see, let's get rid of those names. My font is set on Arial at 18 point and bold. So if I click on this drop down, I get the whole thing about how to set up my font. Let's say I want to have Calibre. So let's put Calibre and let's put it as regular and 12-point font. And that's how I want my papers to look as I am going forward. I can then click Set as Default, and I'm going to get two options here. For this document only, which means that it'll only work while I'm in this document. Every time I bring up that document, the defaults that I've set are going to be the ones that are there. Or I can set it on the normal template, and that means that every time I open up Word on this computer, it's going to have that characteristic. And that's how I'm going to put it. So then I can click OK. And now when I type, it's going to say it's going to show the Calibre at 12 points. See how it changed it there? And let's go ahead and close this out, and you'll see that the next time I bring up the document, it's also going to say Calibre at 12 point. So just for comparison, let's go ahead and switch it, and we're going to make it bigger so that the student can see it better. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to set it as my default, and then say for all documents, and okay. And I'm not going to save this document because I'm going to open a new one. And see how it's now Calibre at 28 point, which is what I had set. So I really don't want mine to come up that big, so I'm going to go back to my 12-point font and leave it as that, and all documents based on the normal template. So if you do that, that's one way to help them to be able to see. And the other way is to go into your ease of access, and you can select the narrator and you can turn that on. But you're going to want to make sure that you set up the features of that so that it doesn't drive the student crazy, because narrator's set up for people who have vision impairments. So it's pretty much a screen reader, and it will read a lot of things. I would turn off all these different things. I would deselect the checks going down. We want to hear the letters. We want to hear the words. We might not want to hear all the keys, because this is really what you're trying to do. Let's turn these off too. We're just gonna make sure everything is just really simplified. And now we can turn it on, and we shouldn't get a whole lot of jibber jabber while we're trying to do this. So let's turn it
Settings
on.
window, use narrator, turn on narrator, toggle switch, on.
Okay, so here we go. And if you wanted to toggle the Windows key, the Control and Enter will turn it off and on. But let's go ahead.
Document 3, Word window, Document 3, editing.
And now I'm going to go ahead and type the letters of the name. Okay, so let's say the kid's name is John. I'm going to type J.
Cap J. O. H. N.
And now when I hit spacebar,
space, John,
it will read that. So, again, it does say caps, it does say space. If you play with those controls, it might make it a little bit easier for them to understand. But these are some things that you can do to kind of get started and see what are the biggest barriers for your student when they are trying to do those tasks.